What you are listening to now is the first ever cross-country report on the Central Indiana Sports Report. And today we have Yorktown head coach Jared Turner and a few of his runners, Maggie Dragoo from the girls' side. And on the boys' side, I spoke with Wyatt Turner and Isaiah Loney. Starting next week on the cross-country report, we will recap the week that was, the previous 6-7 days, and we will name a runner, performance, and team of the week. And we will have our top 10 team rankings, and eventually we will also have our runner rankings. Welcome to the Cross Country Report, and please tune in every Monday.
You are listening to the Cross Country Report. And here's your host, Greg Mingelt.
Welcome, cross-country fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report. I am here at Yorktown High School with Yorktown head coach Jared Turner, both the boys and the girls. Sorry to the girls, but we're going to be spending most of our time talking about your boys' team because it could be a special year for them. Not that it's not going to be a special year for the girls, but in a different way, of course. Coach, last year ended a little disappointing, but one of the best years in program history. How are you feeling coming off of that season going into another one?
Yeah, it's bittersweet for sure. First off, Greg, thanks for having me. Definitely love to talk about
nice to finally meet you face to face.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've talked several times, but never sat down face to face. So this is awesome. Yeah, bittersweet is definitely the term for it because, one of our best finishes in program history. Season as a whole was just fantastic. But then you have the regional meet where illness just kind of got in the way, and that's no excuse. That could happen to any team at any moment, and it happened to us. And like a couple of our guys often talk about, maybe we weren't focused on the process enough of keeping the race in front of us the only race we're thinking about, and not thinking about things down the line. Definitely a chip on the shoulder coming off of last year because we thought that we could accomplish some things that we did not. I mean, I would hope that makes our team very hungry for this season.
And the big one's the regional, where everything bad happened last year, but there's a long time before that. So let's talk about early in the season, and you start Saturday at Huntington. What are you looking for from your boys and girls teams?
Yeah, so I told our kids today, actually, that used a baseball analogy and just said, in baseball they often talk about knowing the inning and knowing the score. And if we're making that analogy, this is the first inning of the game. And score 0-0, so we're not going to make a state appearance Saturday, right? But some good things can happen, and we can learn a lot from Saturday. And obviously, we want the first inning to go well. We want our first meet to go well. But just knowing that this is not the end-all, be-all. So if we go out there and we have a great race, of course, that's something that we're going to build off of and try to carry that momentum into the rest of the season. If it's something that doesn't go the way that we plan, then obviously we got some things to learn from that meet, and hopefully we can learn those along the way, and we have a long way to do that. So I just told our kids, we're going there early in the season. It is the regional course, so it's a course that we're familiar with, and we're going to see later on in the year with some higher stakes. We just want to go in there with a competitive mindset and just go in there and focus on one thing, and that's racing and just being the best that we can that day.
Tell me a little bit about your boys' team. Obviously, it starts with Wyatt, your son, who is one of the best runners in the area. But he's not alone, and last year you saw a lot of improvement from a lot of different guys, and all back?
Yeah, I mean, the strength of our team is the depth. I mean, we obviously have Wyatt, who is probably, one of those guys that could be in the top 25, like All-State at the end of the season, but he knows that there's a lot that goes into that, and if he doesn't know that after last year, then
being healthy,
absolutely, yeah. And so there's no bigger teachable moment than experience, and that's what he has from last year. But yeah, the strength of our team is the depth. I mean, you're right. We have everybody back from our top 7 last year, and then we added a couple really good freshmen who have really good big meet experience at the middle school level, and they've came in and been like immediate contributors. And then we even have a couple kids that are new to the program this year that I think will be in our top 7 to 10. So We just got a lot of guys pushing each other, and it's just a really healthy, competitive environment. It's not a kind of scarcity mindset where who's taking my spot, or you going to take my spot. It's an it's an elevator mindset.
Yeah,
that we
not
kinda,
a lot of cross-country programs at this point have that problem
Yeah.
of having too many kids for the starting lineup.
Exactly, and that's absolutely one thing that we pride ourselves on. Like in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, we're one of the smaller schools enrollment-wise, but we have the biggest numbers. We have the highest numbers of girls and boys on the team of any team in our conference. And there's some teams in our conference that double us in size of enrollment. So it's something we take a great deal of pride in. And I think when you have that many kids associated with the program, just everybody brings each other up. And also you have more support. Like there's more kids that are around to support each other when things get tough, which inevitably always happens during a cross-country season or any sports season.
So you have Wyatt and Isaiah Loney, who I'm going to talk to in just a few minutes. Who else are we looking at in your top 5 to 7?
Yeah, so Thomas Loney was a state qualifier last year as a freshman, and he dealt with a little bit of injury coming off of the last half of track season, and he's still getting back into kind of tip-top form, but he'll definitely be in the conversation. Owen Fouts is kind of our lone senior in that top 5 or 7, and he's really shown a lot of toughness this offseason, and just really liked where his head is at this offseason, kind of leading this team as the lone senior on the team. And then, we just have a bunch of guys fighting for spots. I mean, I think one person that will surprise a lot of people is Owen Lamb. He's been in kind of the upper echelon of our mileage group this entire summer and just been super consistent. And I feel like he's going to really turn a lot of heads come this season. And then there's just a really big fight for those like 5 through 10 spots between those freshmen, Louis Pevler and Noah Schultes that I mentioned, and several other guys that I think could work their way in there.
All right, tell me a little bit about the girls' team. I know it's very young, but you have some high hopes for them too.
Yeah, I'm super optimistic about the girls, and I'm really excited about the girls' season. I know you would think a lot of outside people would be like, oh, I bet you're so excited about the boys. I'm super excited about the girls too, because we lost 6 of our top 7 from the sectional meet last year. And the amount of effort that I've seen our girls put in to try to replace those spots, and girls that are just willing to step up and want to fill new roles and higher level roles on our team is just so inspiring. And, their program has had so much success, whether it's, 3 out of the last 4 sectional championships or 9 Delaware County titles in a row, that there's just like this expectation that we are going to pick right up where we left off, no matter who graduated. Tradition never graduates.
Tori Oliver.
Tori Oliver, just had a tremendous season last year. And, we don't have her leadership this year, and we don't have 6 of those top 7 girls from last year, but just new girls that are willing to step up and fill those roles. So can't wait to see what our girls do.
But you do have one senior. Tell me about her.
Yeah, Maggie Dragoo is the lone senior in this group, and she's a returner that has tons of experience from last year. She's been in those big races, whether it's those county meets or sectional meets or conference meets, so she knows what to expect, and I think she's going to be a great leader for the younger girls on our team that maybe don't have as much experience, and hopefully she can lead not only by example, but just by talking them through those meets as they come along our schedule.
All right, Coach, we're talking about the girls. I want to talk a little bit about the area and what to expect. We'll save the sectional and regional for later. It's a long season. Tell me who in the county and who in the conference, team-wise, as far as the girls and individually, we should be looking out for.
Yeah, I think within our county, Delaware County, we lost a lot to graduation. And I think there's a lot of girls like Ava Cook from Wapahani that should be a very good individual. I think Wapahani will be a threat to kind of win their first county title in a long time. And I think our girls are obviously up for the challenge, but anything can happen. And I think that's a program on the upswing that could break that streak of 9 in a row that we have going. I think outside of Wapahani, it gets kind of pretty scarce as far as just teams being able to put together a full complement of 5 or 7 runners. But then if we're moving on to the conference.
But that won't be the case in the conference.
Yeah, it will not be the case in the conference.
Really good individuals too.
Yeah, and so our conference will be very stout. I mean, we were very proud to finish in like the top half of the conference last year, and we were a really good girls team. So that just tells you the strength of our conference. But, Mount Vernon just has like so much depth. I don't think they have like one outstanding, lead runner, but just the depth that they have is always going to be competitive. Greenfield Central is bringing in like some freshmen that'll be like immediate impact freshmen. And then Pendleton Heights with the front running that they have, I think is going to be somebody to look out for. So yeah, that kind of trio.
Not a lot of numbers, but a lot of good runners on the varsity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you have that and, you're scoring somebody at the top of the state like Anya Zeller, then you have a little bit more grace as you get into the lower parts of those third, fourth, and fifth runners to still have some team success. So, yeah, Greenfield Central, Pendleton Heights, and Mount Vernon, I think, are going to be very, very strong teams.
And on the boys' side, this is very rare, but your conference is probably better than your sectional.
Oh, no
without
doubt.
question, a better.
No doubt. I mean, even though there's only 8 teams in our conference, and there's probably double that in our sectional, it is a way more competitive meet for us.
It's a very good cross country section.
Yeah, and I think just kind of looking at the preseason rankings, like I think there's 3 teams from the boys' side of the Hoosier Heritage Conference that will be in the top like 25 to 30 of the state. Obviously
besides you.
Yeah, hopefully we are in that conversation and we continue to kind of solidify a spot there. But Mount Vernon graduated a lot, but they're kind of like the girls team of our program that we mentioned. They just constantly reload,
including the conference champion.
Yep, that's right. And so, I mean, we assume they will bounce back, as they always do, and reload very quickly. And then Greenfield Central has a lot of like very young up and coming runners, and I think they kind of will solidify in the top 30 of the state ranking as well. And so, yeah, I think that us 3 will push each other all year long. And then there's obviously some great individuals like Pendleton Heights as Benson Davis. Yeah, and Zach White has had just a tremendous offseason. So I expect to see those guys really perform well. Benson's the returning conference champ. So
that's right. He beat Soleil by
the slimmest of margins. Yeah. Absolutely. So
outleaned him. I forgot about that.
I assume he'll have a really good cross country season again. Looking forward to seeing those guys. And there's some really good track seasons from some of those Mount Vernon runners that maybe got outshined by like an Ahmed Saleh. So Cooper Hunsinger, for example, I expect a lot of those guys will be very good.
Last question, Saturday, what are the teams that you're going to be interested to see? How did they do in the off season?
Yeah, so many. I mean, there's so many. There were a few teams that raced this previous weekend. There was a pretty big meet at the state meet course, Laverne Gibson. They had the state preview meet hosted by Terre Haute there. So we saw a couple of those teams, including Bloomington North, which I think will be one of the top teams in the entire state. But yeah, this weekend we'll be looking for just, those teams that probably have a chance at a team title. On the boys side, that's like your Noblesvilles and your Bloomington North again, Columbus North. I'd be really interested to see how those guys race if they're racing this weekend. At our meet in particular, I think there will be a couple teams that will really push us from our regional. Fort Wayne Carroll, for example, beat us last year, and I think that's a team that we'll see run really strong again this Saturday. And on the girls' side, Carmel just looks so loaded right now. So they did race this previous weekend, so I don't know if they'll race this coming weekend again. But, just looking forward to see how the top teams in the state come out and begin their season.
Coach, thanks so much once again. It's very nice to meet you face-to-face finally, and look forward to seeing how your team progresses and talking to you some later this year.
Absolutely. And speaking of progression, I just love the progression of the Central Indiana Sports Report and the work that you do in all the sports. I mean, the spotlight that you give these kids is not overlooked. So we really appreciate it, Greg.
Thanks so much, Coach. Please stay tuned for Maggie Dragoo, Isaiah Loney, and Wyatt Turner.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengel.
All right, Coach, who am I here with?
Yeah, so we have a couple boys from our boys team this year, Wyatt Turner and Isaiah Loney. And we have our lone senior on the girls' side, Maggie Dragoo.
Let's start with you, Maggie. Really good season last year for the girls' team. Is that what we can expect again this year, or did you lose a lot of runners? And is it where is the program? Yeah. Where are you at this point?
So at the beginning of the summer, a really big thing for our girls' team, and really for our whole team, was that it's a different team than last year. We have to have that mentality. Like, yes, we lost some of the runners that were on varsity last year, but we have that mentality this year that it's a different team, and we're going to go out there and try our hardest. I do think it's going to take us a couple of meets here to get things going, but I think that we have a really strong girls team coming in this season that'll help get us to where we want to be.
Tell me about your teammates and who's back and who are you enjoying running with?
So as Coach Turner said, I'm the only senior girl, so I don't have anyone else in my grade. So I look a lot into those underclassmen. I have my sisters who are both sophomores running with me, so I really enjoy being on a team with them. Juniors, of course, I've been with for several years, so it's good to have them back. The sophomores as well. I think it's just all good because we got new freshmen this year who have all been a joy to have. They work hard.
What's the personality of this team? What's this team like?
The personality of this girls team so far? That's a good question. I think we get along really well, which is really good. We like to have fun, like all the time in the locker room. We always have music playing. We always are singing and dancing. We're always just loud, which is probably good that we're at the end of the hallway when it comes to the locker room. But we do have a lot of fun. There's always stuff that we do. We'll go out to get drinks after practice, or there's always, like, especially what I've seen from the upperclassmen is we are really good about reaching out to the underclassmen, like, hey, I'm going to get drinks. Do you guys want anything? And we'll do stuff like that. And this year, actually, it started last year. We do this thing called Secret Sis, where all of the girls are partnered with another girl. It's kind of like a Secret Santa that we get each other little gifts for a couple meets during the season, just as a little pick-me-up before a race. So looking forward to that.
Very cool. And have you guys talked about team goals, or is it just kind of improving at this point?
Right now, because we're really focused on just having that new team mentality of the girls running it, coming in and stuff like that, we've had goals of, like, we'd like to win county and hopefully another sectional championship. But right now, I think we're just focused on growing as a team because we do have such young kids and young girls, which will help as they improve. But I don't know. Our goals are just to go out there and run and have fun. Have joy. That's one of our team pillars, having joy while we do it. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Maggie. It was really nice to meet you. Now I'm going to come over here and once again at Yorktown High School, come over and talk to Isaiah Loney and Wyatt Turner from the boys team. And what I remember from last year, my first year doing the Central Indiana Sports Report, Isaiah, is how heartbreaking the finish was. How much motivation is that going into this season?
It was a big bummer for us. We were really hoping to make it to state. And, obviously it looks a lot better this year, odds-wise. But I think last year we got caught up in the numbers way too much. It cost us some meets and positions and got to our head some. So try to do a little less of that. I know I did it way too much. So me personally, I'm going to have to work on that. We just got to be confident in what we've been building this whole summer and be confident in how strong each other are. Because, we're all good runners. And, it's not just one of us carrying the team.
But Wyatt, it was a really good season despite you getting sick and having to run ill in the regional. So you can kind of use that success going into this season, right? Despite the agonizing finish.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got everybody back from last year, and I couldn't be more happy about that, especially after a season like that, like knowing that nobody is missing out on a year because of that whole finish. Like, everybody's back. We have a chance to do it again, and we just can't take that for granted. We got to go after it and know that last year's behind us and just new year, new focus.
So you have a chance to do it again, guys. What's the focus at this point?
I think the focus is, once again, like Isaiah said, like, just focus on racing. Like, if the odds are out there, but, like, we can prove the odds wrong on any day, and you can prove them right, like, however you need to prove them. And the focus is just doing better than last year, and staying strong throughout the season, and just doing everything we can do to be the best team we can be.
And I talked to Maggie about team goals. I'm sure your answer is going to be a little different than hers based on where the program is at this point. Have you guys talked about team goals?
Yeah, we definitely have. There's obviously last year we made some great accomplishments, and this year our team's only getting stronger. So we're just, looking forward to repeating some of the same titles. Obviously, that state qualifier is the big one that we missed last year, but are hoping to get this year for sure.
Yeah, let me ask you the same question. Team goals obviously get to state. Might even be bigger than that, right?
Yeah, we definitely have a good shot in the regionals. Our regional is not, like, the strongest, and we're very competitive in it, even though, like, last year, and you can't really take a look at that. But Yeah, I mean, just performing the best we can at regionals, going into hopefully state, like just keeping our eyes on the race ahead of us and not 2 races ahead of us. Because I think going in, like, we had gotten news that like we had even a better chance than we thought to make state last year, and we ended up not. And I think the reason is just not focusing on that race. Like, we had to focus on just that race. And
We've been talking about the team. What about you individually? What's the off season been like since track, and what are you hoping to accomplish as an individual?
yeah, I mean, the off season's been, I mean, probably the best it's been for any year, so that's good. And I feel like track season showed me that, you know, I still have room to improve, but like I'm racing a lot better than I was, you know, post last year, because these cross country meets coming up, like the only last memories I have of cross country meets was like feeling absolutely terrible. And I think this year I'm just hoping to, you know, help the team the best I can to obviously get that team state appearance for the first time. And then, you know, for me, just do better than my first year at state, like just try to improve, show that like I should have been there last year, and just show that, you know, everybody should be afraid of Yorktown.
And Isaiah, what about you individually? Have you set any goals for yourself?
I mean, time goals, obviously, probably, I mean, setting new PRs, sub 16 would be my personal goal. Really just helping our team. I mean, there's other strong runners on our team that have been running up close to me and Wyatt, and it'd be good for me to push them in workouts and long runs and all that, and even in meets, because, I mean, iron sharpens iron. We got to help each other through it all. So,
You personally, how much do you pay attention to your teammates when you're running, and how much are you just focused on yourself?
well, I'd say in previous years when I was less close to some of my teammates pace-wise, I would be running on my own more, and so it'd be a lot of that individual drive, just what I can do. But I'd say this year it's a lot easier with some of our newer runners coming up and some of our even veterans just improving, and, you know, being able to run together. Just, yeah.
Thanks so much, Isaiah. And last question, imagine how good this team could be if you had a good coach.
I mean, I think we have one of the best in the business.
Oh, come on.
This guy?
Yeah, of course. And we've gotten the team going throughout the offseason. It's been great.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much to Coach Turner for allowing me to come in and interview him and his athletes. And thank you so much for listening. A reminder that the Cross Country Report will air every Monday on the Central Indiana Sports Report from now to the end of the state finals. Do us a huge favor and tell a friend about the Cross Country Report, and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.